Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss a video from us.
Hello everyone. Today we have with us Mr. Rishikesh Kumar, a seasoned professional with over 9 years of experience in operations, strategy and sales. He completed his masters in business administration from FMS Delhi. He holds expertise in designing and implementing sales strategy, operation strategy, handling P&L, building businesses 0 to 1 and 1 to 100, and has worked across industries. He has a flavor for solving business problems. Rishikesh has worked in senior capacities at Shapurji Palonji Group, Sterlite Power, Piston Care, and presently working as Associate Director at Apna. We seek your guidance to learn more about the subject, sir, and share your experiences with our viewers. We welcome you to this expert interview series and hope you have a good time with us today.
Thanks, Tanmay. Thanks for this great introduction, and superb to actually remind my career journey till now, because still I feel that it's a very small journey as such. So thanks for giving inviting me on your Vskills platform. And just to tell you, while I was doing my MBA in between, I also did a couple of certifications from Vskills, so they are pretty good. See, I was so Tanmay, to be very frank, like I didn't know where do I want to go, right? I just knew one thing, that I want, I feel great pleasure in actually solving problems, solving business problems, maybe taking up challenges. And what happened is that right after my graduation, I got into a project management construction company, where I was basically managing a project in Bangalore. And it was a core construction kind of a job. Working there for 1 year, I took a switch into an edtech startup based out in Bangalore. And the thing was that I started teaching there. So I didn't go there as a business development guy. I went there, and this is back in 2013. So I went there and I asked the founder, he said, I want to teach, because I do love interacting with kids, people around, and I do love to explain the concepts. Although I may not be an IITian by my ranks or something, but yes, whatever concepts I know, I'm pretty good at explaining it to to the other people. So he told me, okay, Rishikesh, we'll give you a chance. You go there, you work there for 1 month, 2 months, see how the students are basically perceiving you. I did pretty good. So one batch I took. Out of a batch of around 120 people, around 11 went on to crack IIT and very good ranks. Around 8 to 9 people got into very good medical colleges. So that was one of the best batches inside that particular institute. And the teacher didn't have even 1 year of experience teaching. Right. So that was the time when I realized one thing, that I am good at explaining things, right? I'm good at telling people what to do. I'm good at giving them a clarity of the things. I went to the founder again and I told him, sir, if you want, I can also engage in the other activities, because I do have a bandwidth. So I do take classes for 3-4 hours. In the remaining 3-4 hours, I can do other tasks as well, and plus you can give me some extra salary in that, right? So he told me, Ki Rishikesh, yes, there is a thing, where we do want to do business development, set up centers in some parts of that particular state. I took up that challenge, and that was the first time I was actually exposed to business development or sales, whatever you say, in a kind. So I was never a kind of a stereotypical sales guy. I was a kind of a person who will go to the clients, who will try to get into their shoes, see that how can I solve the problems. And so to tell you, I think more than 50% of the customers whom I prospect, I do reject them. And I reject them because I feel that my product is not suitable for them. So before they reject me, I reject them. I tell them, sir or ma'am, I don't think this product will make sense to you. So I believe in solving problem. Sales should derive value for the clients. If it is not deriving value for the clients, let's not sell it. It's completely useless. तो उसके बाद तन्मय, then this experience was there. Then I did an edtech startup of my own where I was doing entire business development. एकदम extreme में जाके जहाँ पे I was actually distributing even pamphlets. I used to stay in a railway station का वो मतलब क्या बोलते हैं उसको dormitory, because we didn't have money, because we were building our own startup, and used to do everything possible like on ground teaching. Receptionist भी बनता था. Schools में जाके we used to drive the campaigns, and that was something which made me realize one thing कि Rishikesh, you are a kind of a person like who wants who is very comfortable going into the uncomfortable zone. And that was the time when I cracked CAT after 2 failed attempts, because I was giving it a try for the last 2 times, but I was not able to get a good percentile, to be very frank. And I was getting a kind of a percentile where even, the 100th rank college in India will not give me an invitation. So that poor fellow I was, right? But that year I worked pretty hard. And again, as I told, never quitting attitude, which is, so very important. You are in whatever profession you are. I didn't quit. I was simple. Okay, I've got XYZ percentile, but I know that, I can get into the top B school in India. Whatever people say around me. That self-belief, that confidence was there inside me. No matter I was sleeping on a railway station. So I gave CAT, I cracked it. God had a grace on me. I cracked almost all the, good B schools in India. I went to, FMS Delhi. And in FMS, I did my majors, Tanmay, in marketing and operations. So that is where I actually understood the technicalities of the things. Before that, क्या था कि hustling था, experience से सीख रहा था. But then I understood, what is it all about? कैसे strategy बनाते हैं? एक तो होता है execution कर लिया आपने, you executed something, but then do you have a long-term plan? Can you set up a team? Can you set up a sales organization? That was something which I learned in FMS. And post FMS, I was actually campus placed at Sterlite Power. So Sterlite Power is a part of Vedanta group of companies, again not on a sales role. It was a CEO office role, a strategy role, where I was reporting to the CEO of the company, Mr. Sanjay Jori, who is now a part of Indus Tower. Superb leader. I haven't seen a better leader than him in my entire career. So he actually, gave me this portfolio of managing special projects inside the company. Now, once you are managing special projects, you have to do everything, right from creating business case to finding out vendors, to actually designing the execution plan, plus going on the ground to execute it. Because these are special projects, right? If they are successful, you will hand it over to your projects team. If they are failure, it's your failure. So while I was doing this thing, I interacted with a lot of vendors, because one of the thing, while you are driving a special projects is that you have to find out the right vendors, the right, product companies from the market who can execute the things for you. And that is where I felt that a lot of these companies just, go on to tell something about their product. They don't try to understand what do I need. And that is where, the clients gets basically pissed off. They are like, why should I use this product? So then I understood, if I were on that side of the table, what would I have done? And after working there for around, 1.5 years, 2 years, I actually thought that I should give it a try. Let me go on the other side of the table and let's see that, how can I, do sales better? How can I, shape that sales organization? And I got a chance with a very early stage startup, Rootmatic, and that was the first organization where my full-fledged, formal sales journey actually started. And again, I was reporting to a very good leader over there, and he guided me. He held my hand, but then he always, he always gave me that kind of an ownership, to actually drive the things. So ownership is very important, Tanmay. Wherever we are working, the boss, the manager has to give you that ownership to think out of the box and to experiment things. He gave me that opportunity. I started, going to clients. Very difficult part, because it was a very small company and I had to do everything, right, from prospecting to, even going to the clients, sending them cold emails, to meeting them, pitching them the product, showing them the demo, negotiating the commercials, and then after that also managing the account.
Okay.
So that journey actually, exposed me to entire B2B sales cycle basically, and that is where it actually started. So it was not something which came to me like I am very passionate about sales, but it was something which came to me because I loved problem solving, and that is where still, if you ask me, I think two kind of a roles suit me the best. One is sales because it involves problem solving on a daily level, because daily you are talking to 10 different clients and daily you have to solve their problems. And the second thing is consulting. So this is how I actually ended up being in sales. See, so there are different days at work, right? If I have to talk about a common day, um, one thing I have started following for the past 2.5 years is that I've started doing 1 hour of mental exercise. Let it be meditation or maybe concentration or something like this, because what I've always felt is that mental is very important for any professional. Right, this is one thing which is very important, and I seriously want that this is being taught inside the B schools as well. The second thing which I do is I start my day with a little bit of physical exercise as well, because only when your weight is under your control, your mind is under your control.
Makes sense.
The third thing which I always do is a reflection part. So once I'm going to the office, while I'm driving or I'm boarded a cab or an auto to the office, so I reflect on what should I do better today. This is one thing. And once I enter into the office, the first thing that I do is to see what all meetings that I have in today. What all meetings do I have to attend, what all client calls are there, what are the internal meetings, external meetings. And I do give the initial 1 or 2 hours, if it is available, to prepare for those things, right? Make notes, make pointers on that. Like, what do I really want to talk? And post that, I do a team briefing where I do understand. So the team review for me has never been a kind of a follow-up thing. I have never believed in follow-ups. I have never believed in a thing that you do a lot of follow-ups with your team, and make them achieve the targets. Follow-ups don't work that way. My way of leading the team has always been to understand their problems and to set an example to them, right? Because if they are facing a problem, obviously they will not achieve their targets, right? And me as a sales leader has to solve their problems basically. So this is what we do. We discuss their failures, we discuss their successes, and we make sure that everybody inside the team is very, is pretty confident of sharing those failures. Because failures give you a lot of learnings here, right? Because, and that is what I actually appreciate. And then post that, once this is done, I will attend the meetings. I will do a lot of prospecting. I have never, no matter where do I rise in my career, even 3-4 years down the line, if I end up getting the CXO of a company, I will never stop prospecting. So prospecting for me is basically connecting to new people. Let it be over LinkedIn, or let it be over cold emails, or a cold message to somebody, just to catch up. So prospecting is something which I will always do. I do make a target that I have to connect to 10 new people every week. I have to talk to them at least. They may be connected to the business that I'm doing or to the product that I'm selling, or may not be connected to the product I'm selling. Because a lot of times, the people who are not related to the product, end up giving you a lot of referrals, right? So any connection, should not be seen exactly from the point of view of, selling something. It should be seen from the point of view of how can I add value to this person. Once I do prospecting, I do study the other businesses. So let's suppose I'm actually working on 5 different accounts, which are like very big accounts. So I do a thorough study of them every day, read the news about them, what is all going on inside their businesses, how is their P&L working, what is their unit economics like, what is their ages process like, and these all things are very important, because that is how you can pitch it properly to the clients. Again, as I said, you have to get into their shoes if you want to add value to them. And post that, I do make a lot of case studies on the successful sales that we have done as a team. So let's suppose somebody inside my team or me, let's suppose we have done a successful sales. So we have to jot down all the learnings, all the things that actually happened there, and we will make a case study out of that, right? So these are some of the things that I usually do. And in a good portion of my time also goes into mentoring people, because what I have believed is that many people say that you need to have 20 years of experience to mentor, but what I feel is that reverse mentoring is equally very important. So reverse mentoring, when I say, I mean that somebody who is from a junior batch than me, let's suppose somebody like I am from a 2016 batch, somebody is coming from a 2020 batch. It's very important for me to understand how does he think. And to tell you one thing, like, I have always enjoyed, sitting with my juniors a lot. The thing is that, they give me very different perspective of the things, and that keeps me young also. Right. So this is what I do. I will mentor them. I will reverse mentor from them. Like, what do you think about me? How can I improve myself? And then I will give them the suggestions. How can they improve on themselves? So as a team player, as a team leader, mentoring is also something which is very important. और उसके बाद तो फिर then internal stakeholder management तो is a major part of the things. You have to work with the product team, with the marketing team, with your boss, with the leaders inside the company. That is what makes an entire work day for me as such. See, one thing again, which is the first thing which I feel is very important especially for a career in sales, is creativity.
Okay.
Now, creativity should not go off, right? And creativity comes from childlikeness.
Okay.
Can you think out of the box? Can you forget Porter a bit? Can you forget your books a bit? Can you see the problem from a very neutral angle? So creativity is something which is very important, first important trait inside a sales guy. The second thing is empathy. Empathy, so there's a difference between sympathy and empathy, right? Empathy means getting into the shoes of the other person, and feeling that thing, like what is the problem that my client is going through. How can I help him, right? So empathy is the second thing. The third thing is obviously communication skills. So communication skills doesn't mean speaking good English. Communication skills mean that you speak in a way that can be easily understood by the other person. I have seen a lot of people using a lot of jargons and all around, like it's of no use, right? Okay. You speak in a way that is being easily understood by the other person, and he can easily grasp what are you trying to say. So communication skills is very important. The fourth thing which I will say is perseverance. So perseverance is something which is वो बोलते हैं ना कि मतलब intelligence, smartness, everything goes for a vain if you're not perseverant.
Right.
So you should be perseverant. And when I interview somebody, I do ask them this question, like how many times they have failed but still didn't quit on that. That gives you a lot of insights into can this person be perseverant enough, right? So perseverance is something. And the other the fifth thing which so I will club two things here is problem solving and time management.
Okay.
So a lot of sales guys, especially early on in their career, they don't manage their time properly, like in what time they have to prospect, what are the clients they should focus upon and all that. So time management and problem solving is very important. So these are the 5 things which I think is very important if I want to do, or anybody want to do a good service to sales and operations as a career. If somebody calls you on, if somebody cold calls you, let's suppose, somebody from an insurance company or somebody there. So what is the first thing that they do? First thing that they will do is that, good morning, sir. This is this and this, I'm calling from this company and we have this offer for you, this offer for you, this offer for you, etc. पूरा बोल देगा. ठीक है? But the point is that this is the biggest mistake.
Okay.
The mistake is that forcing stuff on your customers, on your clients. You are actually pitching your product without even understanding that your customer needs it, or in what way does he need, or whether he's the right person to sell that or not. This is the first mistake that usually early people. I did a lot of these mistakes, like reaching out to wrong guys, बोलता चला जाता था आधा घंटा 15 मिनट, बाद में पता चला 15 मिनट के बाद आफ्टर 15 minutes I realized that he doesn't need it, right? So this is the one thing. The second thing is that pitching without solving problem. So if I just tell you, to buy this iPhone, right, means I don't know why should you buy this, right? So I should basically focus on why should you buy this, what is the problem that is going to solve for you. People pitch a product without actually telling them, without actually giving them a business case of it. So I was pitching to one of the clients, and I didn't talk about the product as such. What I told to them is that what is their edges cost. Let's suppose 5 rupees is their edges cost. By using the product, how can it become 3 rupees?
Right.
So I created a complete Excel model of their business and I sent it to them without talking anything about the product. And the next, the person replied on my mail, can we connect, to actually discuss your product. So pitching without solving problem is the another mistake which they do. The third thing is impatience. So while we join, earlier inside the sales career, we have to do a lot of cold calls. We have to go to people, meet them. A lot of people will not treat you well. A lot of people will not, respond to you in the way that you want them to respond. So you should not take it on yourself.
Right.
You should be patient enough. You should understand that it is not that the other person is misbehaving with you. It is because the other person doesn't understand the importance of the product or services that you are actually trying to sell it to him.
Makes sense.
Right. So there is a difference. So impatience is there. The fourth thing is, I think poor visibility of the pipeline is something which is very important. So while I started my sales career, I used to build a very long pipeline. This company is there, this company is there, this company is ka ye POC hai. But I didn't have a visibility on the pipeline, and that is where I didn't have a visibility on the revenue part as well.
Okay.
So visibility of the pipeline means, can you define a probability of this client getting converted? And how do you define the probability? जैसे कि अगर हम CAT का preparation कर रहे हैं, and the CAT exam comes in the month of November, and in June month if I'm giving a mock and if I'm getting like, let's suppose 90 percentile, so my probability is like this much.
Okay.
In July, if I improve, my probability improves, right? So defining a set of parameters which will help you design the probability of that client getting converted gives you a strong view of your pipeline. And that is what actually helps you manage your time in a way that you focus more on those accounts which are going to convert easier or, faster. So this is another thing which I feel that, people just come to sales, start calling customers and try to convert every customer without even knowing that, where is their pipeline actually going. The other mistake is the lack of empathy, which is a very, very big mistake, because I have seen a lot of people, making sales pitches to me, or maybe, they may be making to you, but they feel like, the way they talk, the way they actually communicate with you, it feels like, it's a very emotionless kind of a thing. Ki, hey, Tanmay, I am calling you from this, I want to sell you this, right? Yeah. Empathy is completely missing. We should always remember that we human beings are very emotional. We always, emotions for us come always first. And especially if you talk from the Indian context, to Indians to are, super emotional people, right? So empathy should not be missing. You should, first of all, while you're calling someone, first of all, try to understand, what is their problem, and get into their shoes. And while you're talking, don't make it a, kind of a monologue kind of a communication, or, kind of very simple. Maybe, crack a few jokes in between, make it as personal as possible. So empathy, I mean in that way. So these are some of the things which people learn over time, but if they actually, realize it in the beginning of their career, obviously, they will start performing pretty good from the beginning itself. So one thing, which I think is, is that people should, again, coming back to creativity, people should keep on thinking what is working out and what is not working out, right? So later on, I think after 1.5 years or 2 years into my sales career, I realized that a cold emailing to a CXO is far more effective than a cold call to any person inside the company.
Okay.
What is the reason behind it? The reason is that since he or she is the CXO of a company, he or she has got access to all the employees. Second thing is that a CXO never leads one particular department. A CXO is responsible for the overall company. So if a product makes sense to him, he will not mind, transferring or connecting, somebody relevant to you. So these are some of the things, so I won't say that, this is the only thing which will work out, but the thing is that one thing, which I should have done better is that think about the other channels.
Right.
Be a little bit, more creative. The second thing which was there when I started my career was basically plain pitches. Plain pitches में क्या करता था कि I used to go to the client, I used to give them a product, brief, और तुरंत अपना लैपटॉप खोल के उनको डेमो दिखाना चालू कर देता था.
Okay.
Right. So, and most of them ended with no closers. और वो the tag used to be like 3 months, 4 months, 6 months उनको follow up कर रहे हैं, पता ही नहीं चल रहा है क्यों sales close नहीं हो रहा है. Instead of that, I should have done value pitching.
Okay.
What is the value that I'm going to add to your organization as such? What is the pain point that I'm actually solving? The third thing, again, related to the, first point is the wrong prospects. You end up wasting a lot of time on wrong, people. So let's suppose, you have a product and, XYG is the decision maker, but you are instead talking to PQR thinking that things will work out.
Okay.
So, that has to be, avoided. If you can find out, earlier, then again, it comes, to that point that if you reach out to the CXO, he will connect you to the right guy. But if you just, do prospecting by yourself, you will end up losing a lot of time, just to find out who is the right decision maker. The other thing is product knowledge. So product knowledge is something, which, a lot of sales guys will tell to you कि यार मेरे को product का उतना ज़्यादा ज्ञान होना ज़रूरी नहीं है. But it's not like that, right? A good salesperson, a good sales leader or a good sales executive has to understand his product in and out. Product में क्या अच्छाई है वो तो है ही, product में क्या problems है वो भी पता होनी चाहिए आपको.
Right.
So that you don't go on and kind of overcommit and underdeliver. Because remember one thing, a sales guy is the face of the company, right? If I sell you something, if I actually overcommit to you and deliver, kind of underdeliver, what is the face that I have to come to you again? And why will you refer me to the other clients? So that is why I always say one thing, to all my team and to myself as well, कि no matter I take salary from this company, but I work always for my clients, right? So this is something, which I have actually improved over a period of time.
Okay.
कि product का knowledge अच्छा होना चाहिए. For that you keep on talking to the product guys, to the tech guys. अब बात करते रहो to the operations guy, understand what is the problem is there, product में क्या improvements हो रहे हैं. The last thing which I would like to say is the lack of that aha effect. So whenever you are actually selling a product, right, or a service, you need to create that aha effect. So I remember, a month back I was sitting with a client.
Okay.
And we were discussing, the kind of product and services that we do provide. And then some random thing came up, like, there's a competitor company which has been doing it like this and all that. And I actually, remain on LinkedIn a lot. So this gives me a lot of, information about what is happening across the industry. So I gave him a point that, okay, this is something which is happening inside this competitor, inside this industry. Right. And that is where he started thinking, the client started thinking that he's not a sales guy, he's an industry expert as such.
Okay.
Right. So a sales guy should always try to be an industry expert. If you're working for pharma, you need to be a pharma expert. Now, pharma expert doesn't mean that you should know drugs, molecules, etc. But you should know what are the recent events which are happening inside the industry. So that while you're talking to somebody, you have, some points to talk out of your product and services to show it to him that I can solve your problem. I'm an industry expert here. यार एक ही कोटेशन है, काफी हिंदी का कोटेशन है जो मैं हमेशा अपने दिल में रखता हूँ, उसको मैं इंग्लिश में ही बोल दूंगा. सिंपल सी बात है, छोड़ेंगे नहीं जब तक तोड़ेंगे नहीं.
Wow.
राइट
Yes, yes.
तो छोड़ेंगे नहीं जब तक तोड़ेंगे नहीं. दुनिया कुछ भी बोल दे, हम तो हमें पता है हमें कहाँ जाना है
Yes.
और हम वहां पे जाके ही दम लेंगे. Right? If you talk in English, it will be simple. Never follow anybody, no matter howsoever successful they are.
Right.
You learn from them. You learn from their successes,
Hmm.
but don't follow them.
Yes.
Right? Verbatim.
Yes.
Because everybody has a different way of doing something.
Hmm.
Right? People say that people who switch careers just after 6 months or 1 year, they don't end up becoming CXO. I have got 50 people on my list who have switched jobs, 2 or 3 jobs within a span of 1 year, and they have gone on to become CXOs.
Wow.
Just for an example, people say that people who are not from Stanford can't become this.
Hmm.
I have got 100 examples.
Okay.
Right?
Hmm.
People say that if you can't speak good English, you can't lead a team. I have got 100 examples. My previous boss, didn't speak so good English, but
Okay.
he is a role model for me right now. The way he used to lead his team, the way he used to motivate them, guide them, run the business, superb guy. So simple है कि follow किसी को नहीं करना है, सीखना सबसे है, but अपना सेल्फ बिलीफ कभी छोड़ना नहीं है, बिकॉज ये जो सेल्फ बिलीफ है ना, यही आपको आगे लेके जाएगा. नहीं तो होता क्या है, सक्सेस में तो सभी आपकी तारीफ करते हैं, जब फेलियर होता है कोई भी साथ नहीं होता है.
Right. Right. Makes sense. Thank you so much, sir. That was really profound, and all the questions you answered, it was so elaborate. So it really conveyed what you wanted to say.
Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss a video from us.